Hello guys, Greg back with another video. So today I'm doing my personal favourite men's fragrances from the house of Amouage. I'm not including the Atars or the library collection, this is just the main men's line. It's a top 10 of sorts, but there's actually 13 fragrances that I mention. So let's just dive straight into it. First up, the one that I'm probably least fond of, this was a blind buy. Foolishly I blind bought this. It's the Rose based scent from the range. A lot of people really like this one. I don't dislike it, it's just not really for me. And this one is Lyric Man. And next up we have, this is one of the earlier ones from the line. Actually this has just been confirmed as being discontinued. And this one is Silver Man. It's a very old school fragrance. It's kind of a white floral fragrance. It's got citrus, woods, musk. It's nothing like any of the Amouages that have been released in the last sort of 5 to 8 years. I do really enjoy this one, but my only criticism of it is that it smells a bit like a men's deodorant in my opinion. So next up we have actually the other one that's just been confirmed as discontinued. And this is Ciel or Seal Man. Very pleasant fragrance, reminds me a little bit of a designer fragrance, Colognes Men. Both have a similar floral sort of element or accord in there. Quite a soapy fragrance to me, very nice, but just doesn't quite make the top 10. So that's Ciel Man. So on to my top 10 favourite fragrances from Amouage. And the first one, this one gets a lot of love actually in the community. It's one of the newer ones, and this is called Journeyman. You're going to get your signature Amouage incense in there. It's not the main player actually in this one. This is more about pepper. It's got Sichuan pepper in, which I'm not really familiar with, but it's hot. I describe it as being like a fiery pepper. It's got some punch to it, but it's an aromatic, spicy fragrance. It's got a hit of tobacco leaf in there. I prefer the top part of this fragrance actually, which is Nerodian cardamom, and I wish that phase would last a bit longer because it's the best part of the fragrance in my opinion. Number 9, we've got another spicy one from the family, and another one where I prefer the early stages actually of the fragrance, and this one is called Honor Man. Probably my favourite bottle from the range. I like this white bottle. But again, you get your Amouage incense in there, you get it mixed with some pepper and some resins. Shame that this wasn't a bit more linear because the dry down is a bit boring. It's a base of cedar and patchouli, and it's just a bit kind of blah. If it stayed in the mid phase, that one would probably be higher up on my list, but still really do enjoy it anyway. Number 8, and this one probably would be a lot higher on most people's lists, but there's just others that I prefer more than this. And this is a smoky, balsamic incense bomb basically, and if you haven't guessed it, this one's Interlude Man. It's big and it's bold, it's kind of in your face type of scent. Probably one of the best creations from the house, but as I said, there's just others that I like more, but this one has grown on me, so who knows, in a year's time maybe it will be higher up my list. So that's Interlude Man. Number 7, one of my more recent purchases. Now this one's a lot more expensive than the others, and I'm really not sure why, because it smells good but it doesn't have anything that warrants it being that much more expensive than the others. I think it's £95 more for 100ml than the others, which is about 140 bucks. But anyway, this one's called Beloved Man. Main note in this fragrance is elemi. I've never really smelt that. I don't know what it really smells like, but I'd sum the fragrance up as being like a woody, spicy incense. I think elemi's kind of spicy, green, fresh. It's not what you'd... It's a resin, but it's not like a dark type of resin like amber. But there's some good earthiness in this fragrance, some musk. Quite a hard fragrance actually to try and describe, but a very nice one. But as I said, it doesn't justify the price difference between this and the others. And to be honest, it only lasts maybe 6 hours on my skin. It doesn't perform very well after about an hour. Could be just my British skin, I don't know. But I like the fragrance, but I don't understand the price point on that one. Number 6, the one that literally has the epic name. And this one is Epic Man. Starts off with cardamom and saffron and pink pepper, develops into just like a cacophony of different notes in here. There's incense, there's oud in here, leather, patchouli. They're all fighting really to be the top boy. I'm not someone that measures compliments very much, but this one seems to be one that I always get really good comments when I wear it. Number 5. There's a fragrance due to release called Myths, which will be the newest one, but as it stands, this one is the newest men's release. from Amouage, and it's called Sunshine Man. It's had mixed reviews. I'm one of the ones that actually really likes it. If I'd had this a bit longer, it may be even higher on the list. But the thing that makes this one for me is there's a blend of lavender and also what I now know is Immortelle. Now, I couldn't figure out what was giving off that amazing smell, so I checked the notes and I got the description of Immortelle, and I've actually written it down, and it says, hold on, caramelised note from the everlasting flower, common in the Mediterranean with aspects of fenugreek spice, curry and toasted bread. So it's a strange one, but it's an appealing note. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the magic in this fragrance. Interesting, different, but yeah, really good. So number 4, we're getting on to the big boys now. This one is a combination of mint, absinthe and incense. And if you know Amouage, you'll know what I'm talking about already. This one is Memoir Man. One of the more mainstream smelling fragrances, I guess. It's got tobacco in here, it's got leather. Really pleasant. If you haven't tried it, get yourself a sample, check it out. That's one of the more easy to wear fragrances, I would say, from the range. Number 3, this is actually the most mainstream fragrance from the house, in my opinion. It's a great blend of, it's unisex, it's woods, it's florals, very attractive, alluring scent. And this one is Reflection Man. Smells great on a man or woman to me. If you look this one up on Fragrantica, I think people have got it right in what they think are the predominant notes, which are jasmine, neroli and sandalwood. Jasmine can often overpower a fragrance, but it doesn't in Reflection Man. It's just blended very well with the other notes. It's also got Rose de Mai in here, which, odd as it sounds, being called rose, what I've learnt about this note is that it's more of it gives off a woodiness and a powderiness, and you definitely get powderiness in this fragrance. One of the biggest, probably the biggest crowd pleaser from the Amouage men's line, that is Reflection Man. So 2 to go. Number 2, another one. This one I would definitely never associate this with the Amouage house. If I smelt this, wouldn't think it was in the Amouage house, doesn't belong, but I think it's a stunner. And it's one of the lesser talked about ones. Really don't hear much hype about this one at all. This is called Dear Man. This has a real great floral feel to it. It's got peony in there, which is another note that I had to look up when I first got this fragrance. It's a very distinctive floral smell, but it's not feminine. That floral note blends with plum, and then you get those 2 notes kind of stay around for a long time in this fragrance. And then it takes quite a big turn when it reaches the base, and it becomes a very vetiver dominant fragrance with a bit of incense behind that vetiver. But this one deserves a lot more love in my opinion. I think it's fantastic, and it's my second favourite from all of these. So number 1, probably no surprise to anyone, this will be number 1 on a lot of people's list. The Gift of Kings Jubilation 25. The magic in this one for me is the way you get a contrast between bitterness and sweetness. It's got 2 types of myrrh in here, one bitter, one sweet. It's got blackberry and honey, but then it's contrasted with oud and frankincense and gaiac wood. It's just a great blend, an amazing smelling fragrance. When I wear this one, I feel like I'm the most important person in the room, and I think that's a pretty cool thing for a fragrance to achieve. So there you go. That's my favourite fragrances from the House of Amouage. I'd love to hear what your favourites are. So please leave some comments with that. Give a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And just thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.